What do you got?
My number 2, The Bride Wore Red.
I mean, you're always asking me where I've been. You're always asking me when I'll be back. You never used to be like this.
You used to come home at 5, now you come home at 8.
Well, that's your father's fault.
You used to be romantic. Now you never kiss me unless you want sex.
Yeah. And I used to get homemade fettuccine. Now all I get is lean cuisine in the microwave.
What happened to the flowers you used to bring me?
Why don't you ever wear a dress anymore? All I ever see in is sweatpants.
Go! Get out! Get out of here!
I'm gone.
Is it? Where do you have it? You got it.
I have it. What number was that?
That was my 21st worst. So my number 2, second worst.
Number 2, buddy.
Yep.
Bring it up. Number 2.
Bride Wore Red.
Fuck this episode.
Yep.
One of the most convoluted, hard to follow episodes in the entire, it's just such a mess. It's a fucking mess. I've been giving a lot of the plots. Do you want to try to give the plot? If you want, okay, do you want me to do the Justin plot?
Sure.
Okay, all right.
And then I'll follow that up with the notes that I have, because I think you can see the frustration
of just anger.
That just builds.
Okay. I hope folks don't get sick of me delivering plots. Out of the two of us, I tend to be that guy.
You like doing it, and I would not be able to get through it. So
then it works. So folks, fuck you. This is the format of the show.
Yep.
Plots will be delivered by me. It just is what it is. If you don't like my...
I tend to feel like if you haven't seen... You know what? Screw you. We had to go through this. You have to watch it too. And that goes for all of the shows, the movies that we watch. Especially this one.
Right. So you get the plot synopsis, damn it.
Justin is the one that actually cares. And he tells you a little bit about it so that you don't have to watch it.
Yeah.
Me? No. Get the hell out of here.
If
you haven't seen it.
No, right. In all honesty, if it wasn't, I don't think Mark would be, I think you would be giving a few sentences and then just immediately get into what you liked and didn't like. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I feel it's important that we should give you a little bit of context of what the fuck we're talking about. And I actually like giving plot synopses. So it works. So it opens with, do you remember the main protagonist's name? Oh, wait, I got it. Gavin. Sorry, Gavin. He is a man. It's actually a man. It's not high school. It's not college. It's a man. The night before his wedding, and I can't believe we had this both at number 2 worst. That's fucking amazing. Yeah.
I hope that your worst one is my worst.
No, it's not, because mine's Do Dreams Bleed.
Oh, okay. We've already got yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
All I have is my number 3.
Number 3. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe it's your number 1. Right. Yeah. So we have a man, Gavin, on his wedding night, getting cold feet. The night before his wedding.
Yep.
And his douchebag friends take him out to a nightclub, aptly called the Ball and Chain.
That's
so on the nose.
Which hits the nail on the head with what the theme of this episode is.
Commitment,
marriage.
Yeah. That's the theme of the it's kind of A and B plot. Yeah. The A and B plot are different, but it is a similar theme. It is the
unfortunately they are linked.
Sanctity of marriage. Yeah. So, this is so fucking stupid. His douchebag friends are just like, come on, man, it's your last day as a single man. Like,
so stereotypical.
So on the nose. And they're like, your last day as a free man. That means you got to get laid. And they encourage him to sleep with someone because it's like his last chance. Now, Mark,
does that really happen?
Now, Mark, as the resident expert on married men, because you are one yourself, you've been happily married for how many years now?
Don't ask me that.
Okay. She won't watch the show anyways. You can just make up a number. But you've been happily married now for years.
Yep.
This happened, right? On the night before.
Yeah. You're required.
You are required to your groomsmen take you out to get laid, right?
Not a bachelor party. They're taking you out to have sex with another woman.
Correct.
100% of the time.
Yeah.
In fact, when you go to get married, they don't let you sign the marriage certificate unless you first sign off that said last night, eh?
Well, that you actually have to bring that person in as a witness.
That's correct. She's at your wedding.
She's well, of course. She is
or sometimes they literally are.
She is in this episode. So they encourage him to have a one night stand because his last chance is a free man. Whatever. It's funny. Gavin's like, I'm 22, man. Which 22 22. That's pretty young to get married. I agree with him there. Except he looks like he's older than me, and I'm 34.
He's like going bald.
He looks like he looks closer to your age. He's like 40, and it's like this is his first time getting married. I'm like, dude, come on. Suspension of disbelief, maybe.
Especially since they don't have a hard time getting young people for the show.
Right.
Like,
it's like, why did you hire this schlub guy that looks like he's fucking 40?
You didn't have to do that. You could have just gotten somebody age appropriate.
You could have just cast younger. Yep. Right. So what precedes is like 10 minutes of Dream World Club bullshit. It's like very convoluted. It's like there's a stripper, and then there's a bunch of people acting weird. Again, no one's acting normal. Yep. So it's like, okay, your mind just immediately tunes out because you're like, okay, this all means nothing.
Obviously a dream.
Yeah, obviously a dream. Yeah. Gavin wakes up the next morning and he's hungover on the couch, not remembering anything. The wedding proceeds, which, did you catch this? So it's in like a giant church.
Massive, yeah.
But they only could afford like 10 extras. Did you catch this?
There's like nobody outside.
No, but inside, when it shows all the like the pews, there's like they're using literally like the first 2 rows of like a 100 row fucking church. It's ridiculous.
And like based on the number of friends that took this guy out for his bachelor party, like they know people.
It's like
you couldn't.
They like the groom's party. It's like this. It's like 5-6 people, and same thing with the bride's party. It's like 6 or 8 people, including like her mom and dad, and that's it. Yeah, it's just very cartoony looking. And then among the crowd, he happens to catch eyes with this lady in red, and she stands out like a fucking sore thumb. It's so in your face where it's like everyone's wearing like traditional, like wedding, like black, white, like presentable. Yep. And then, but she's wearing like this bright red, like she's just going out on like, a night on the town. Yep. It's cartoonish. Yep. And she's like, it's also weird because she's like sitting beside like the bride's parents, implying it's like, is that her sister or something? Like she's
how do
way
you know?
She's way too close to the wedding party.
She's not
to
just a guest in the back.
Right. She's not. A proper way of directing this would have been to put her in the back, because then it's like, oh, maybe she's not actually there. But no, she's there. So this woman is like smiling at him, like sinister, like she's got like this. She's like just giving them this weird smiling look, and he's like doing a double take, like, huh, what the fuck? Then cut ahead, they get married, and Gavin is instantly miserable. And it's just like stereotypical, like, as soon as you get married, women like turn into like assholes. It's like, come on. They're like turned into like nagging, housewives and cut off your balls. Like it's so like on the nose.
I'm going out tonight.
With who?
Danny and David.
Where?
Do I need your permission?
Kevin, I don't mind. I'm just curious.
I mean, this is the first time I've been out by myself since our honeymoon. 6 weeks.
You don't have to justify it.
Yeah, but you're hurt, aren't you?
Just by the tone of your voice.
We never have sex anymore, like that kind of thing.
Right. Yep. So then he has an encounter with the same woman in red. I think it's the same actress. I think it's the same woman, but he has some encounter with her. I don't know. He like goes back to a bar or something. And then they go to like her place, and then she ends up being crazy. And then she like tries to torture him or something. And then he just wakes up, and it turns out he was daydreaming on the altar. But the woman in red is still sitting there. Yeah. So she's real. So who the fuck was she? Who is this woman?
Did he actually have like a night with her? Does he know her? Who knows?
That's crap. Yeah, that's the A plot.
Yep.
That's the A plot. Should I get into the B plot?
Yeah. Yep.
We get there's two Freddy scenes in this.
And if that doesn't sound like a plot, it's because it isn't.
No, it's just a mess. Yeah. It's just a bunch of scenes. Yep. If you think that's bad, oh my God, the B plot makes the A plot look like a work of art, because the B plot's even more convoluted. So before I get to that, the 2 Freddy scenes that I want to note, we get DJ Freddy at the club.
Yes. So,
no.
this is my favorite part of the whole. Yeah.
Of all time?
The Bride Wore Red. Freddy scratches records as a rapper in the dance club, and they use that bumper. They use that for every bumper in the episode.
In this episode, yeah.
So amazing. If for nothing else, check this out because it is exactly. Oh, we're going to put it up here.
It's time for our boy to face the music with Rapmaster Freddy.
Like, I think we have
100%, yeah.
Like, I can't even describe how incredible it is. Normally with the bumpers, like, they'll use one once or twice, and then like in the B story, they'll have like a different one. No. For this, I believe they use it throughout the entire episode.
Almost all of them.
They realize what they have with this, and they're like, "Oh, we are milking the living shit out of this."
Because it's so goofy looking. Yeah. It's just so.
If you.
I'm surprised you loved this.
Oh,
I thought this was going to be like one of you, because you don't like MTV Freddy, but this is you're embracing it.
Come on, look where we're
Freddy's
look
Nightmares.
where we're at.
Freddy's Nightmares. Yeah,
and it's exactly what it is. So he's like sitting there scratching records, like, oh yeah.
It was almost my number one.
I had to stop and pause the episode. I'm like, oh my god.
It was almost my number one. My number one, of course, was the.
Yeah.
But to me, Freddy with an axe, that jump with the kick.
Yeah.
Kudos to Robert Englund for doing that little like blocking. Oh, it's so good.
And you have to like late 80s, like wuss rap was totally in, right? So it's not like he's doing something out of
My
left
name
field.
is Freddy, and I'm
That's
here
right.
to say,
Yeah. Like, oh, yep.
What? Yeah.
You love it. It's the only thing that is like, if you don't watch the episode, but watch this.
Now, it's not the greatest Freddy Krueger rap.
Well,
that honor, of course, belongs to Freddy Krueger and the Fat Boys.
That's right.
Yeah. Are you ready for Freddy? Which we already played you a clip
Right.
of that in our ranking of the Elm Street series. So look that up if you have not seen it. Yep. It's incredible. The other scene that was pretty cool is Freddy has like a wedding bouquet and it like ignites. It like ignites into fire. That was kind of a cool shot. It was like, they don't do a lot of like effects in the show, like practical effects. So every once in a while when you get one, you're like, cool. Like an effect. Breath of fresh air.
Yep.
Something, right? And I thought it worked very well. They clearly had like some wire going up his arm, but I mean, I think it was a cool effect. It was a cool effect.
Fire.
Yeah. The B plot. Oh my God. Okay. Gavin and Jessica, that's his wife's name, are now married. Jessica is annoying as hell and weirdly concerned that there's some issue with her parents' marriage. She's like obsessed with this. She has some like weird thing where she's like, I don't know, there's something weird about my parents. Like, I feel like they're off, like they're acting funny. And she keeps like harping on and on about this point.
Yep.
And like, the funny thing is like, in the first plot, Gavin's just like, I don't know if I should get married. Oh, like I'm worried about it. In the second plot, he's basically just like some schlubby husband.
Yep.
Like he's just a guy. Any personality he had in the first plot is removed in the second plot.
Right.
They just made him man. Like he does nothing in the second plot. He's basically just like, maybe you're overreacting. That's about it. Like he has no character at all. Yeah.
And what's her name?
Jessica.
So we're introduced to her, I think, because she has kind of like a side job where she sets men up who are intended on cheating on their wives.
No, that's the B plot.
That's the B plot.
That's the B plot. Yeah. So it starts off and it shows that, so like now they're married, okay? And Jessica feels troubled about like, oh, she's like going through some shit, and she goes to the carving knife bar, which is, I think, the worst set the show ever made. Do you remember this?
Nope. I've blocked it out.
So the set is literally, often they wouldn't have a lot of budget on the show. So that, some of the sets aren't the greatest. They're not terrible. This one's terrible.
Yep.
It's literally, the bar is all they had was like in the foreground. It's like a countertop. So it's like they have a bar countertop. They have people sitting at it.
Yep.
Then they have big black sheets for the walls, and they've lit it so there's like, it's just completely dark, so you can't tell that it's like, oh, this is just like in a sound stage, like in a warehouse. And they've got like a few tables set up. It looks like a theater play. It looks like a play version of a bar.
Yeah. Like if you were going to see like a high school show.
Right, that's exactly what it looks like. Yeah, it's exactly what it looks like.
Which blows my mind because if you look at something like Saturday Night Live, they will build these decent looking sets for a 5-minute sketch.
It's way worse than anything SNL can do.
Like you can do better. Like you don't have to. Like,
no, it's like community theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like community theater. So then she meets a man who I think bears a striking resemblance to Geraldo Rivera.
The mustache.
Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah, this dude.
Yep.
I'm going to put both those images up on the screen here. That dude, I know that's a weird deep cut. Most people listening like, who the fuck is Geraldo? It's like, he was a big TV personality.
He was
especially at that
famous,
time.
yeah.
I don't know if he was meant to look like him or what, but holy fuck, that could be Geraldo's twin. Yeah. It's just like this weird looking man. She lures the man to like a hotel room and she's like, let's go have some fun. Let's sleep together. Are you married? And he's like, yeah, I'm married, but what she doesn't find out won't hurt her or some shit. And then Jessica, she doesn't really blackmail the guy. She basically just like gets the guy because she ties him up and she's like, let's do something kinky. And he's like, I like where this is going. And then she like gets his information and then calls his wife.
Yeah.
And just like, yeah, he's at this hotel room. Come pick him up. I'm the woman that he just slept with or tried to sleep with.
Or was going to.
Yeah. So she just exposes him and then basically like ruins his life. And then he's like, I'll get you, bitch. And then pause that. And then the entire time the episode's proceeding, Jessica keeps having flashbacks of when she was a child. And she has like these memories of like, it's like, she keeps seeing like her dad being unfaithful, but she's not sure if this is real or not because she was really young. But she keeps having these like these dreams of like she's like, no, daddy, who is that other woman? That's not mommy. It's like some shit like that, and he's like, you better keep my secret. Be a good girl.
Yep.
And I guess this like traumatized her. She has like PTSD of like the weight of keeping this secret for her lecherous father.
And they don't use like a child actor to represent her as a child. They just use
it?
Yeah.
I don't even remember this.
The series is notorious for this, right? They won't age appropriate flashbacks. They just use the same person and try to dress
No,
them
they
up
did in the end of the world, they actually did hire a little girl.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
That's why that one's on my top.
Yeah.
See, the climax of the episode is they have dinner at Jessica's parents' house, and it's revealed they're getting a divorce. Oh my God, Jessica's premonition was right. Something was wrong with their parents' marriage. And it's so funny the way this plays out because, like, Jessica is like, the entire episode, they're building this up. It's like she's tormented with guilt over like she has kept this secret. And now finally she spills her guts to her parents where she was like, Mom, I saw Dad having an affair and he told me to keep it a secret and I can't do it anymore. And then her mom's just like, yeah, sure. Like I knew.
I already knew that.
Yeah.
Jesse, please. I never told Mom about that lady. Dad, I never told her about any of your lady. I kept my promise.
Kevin, get her out of here.
Mommy made me swear.
Jesse, I knew about the other women.
Like, so what?
Like,
and their reactions basically
like,
just
oh.
like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. That's the climax.
Yep. And then she goes insane.
And then literally Jessica's just like, no, like losing her mind, being like, you don't understand. Yep. And she's like, she is acting at 11 this entire episode. Yep. Everyone else is kind of acting normal. She is at 11. She might be the worst actress in the entire of season 1.
I kept my promise, Dad. I didn't say a word. You have no right to do this.
What are you talking about?
You know damn well what I'm talking about! Spent my whole life keeping you two together.
she is so awful. You know what I mean? Like she's just constantly, I've got it written down here. Where is it? Yeah, I loved it. Jessica may be the most annoying character in all of the first season, overacting constantly and screaming and crying nonstop about everything.
Yep.
At no point likable. You want to murder this woman.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, we get our little stinger on the end. Oh, who returns? Geraldo Rivera shows up out of nowhere. And he like has a gun. He like knocks out her husband and puts a gun to her head. And then he's like, we're going to have some fun, baby. And then so you're like, oh, okay, that's the wraparound is like that. So that actually did happen. She did do that to that guy. But maybe it didn't happen because then she just like wakes up in a hospital bed. So many Freddy's Nightmares episodes just end with someone in a bed insane. And then the characters being like, they've lost it. Am I crazy, coach? Yeah. Yeah, you are.
I'm the chopper.
Yes.
I'm crazy.
Yep.
Go figure.
So many episodes end with this shit. So like, yeah, she wakes up in a bed and then like every time her husband approaches her, she sees Geraldo Rivera's face. And then that's it. That's the ending. It's crap. It's so bad. What? I don't know. I feel like I've just said everything. What do you got?
So in my notes, I wrote 2 horror stories based around people questioning their marriages. That's exciting TV right there. I feel like whoever wrote this, whoever created these episodes, had this wonderful idea for telling a drama story that they had written up and thought was super original in their head. And the only opportunity they got to tell a story was through this Freddy's Nightmares avenue. So they're like, all right, that's fine. I'll just shoehorn it into that. And it doesn't work, right? There's nothing about this that is horrifying. I could not care less about everything that happens.
And it's cartoony.
Right.
It's not, it's not tastefully well done. This isn't the program
Right.
to be exploring themes of like being trapped in marriage and like, you know, the anxiety of it. It's like, I don't know. Some of the episodes that I like, it's when the anxiety is somewhat relatable. Like Max in the Love Stinks episode. Like the anxiety of, you know, entering adulthood and no longer get to just, your life is no longer about just searching the high, having a good time. Sometimes you got to sit down and get serious and figure some shit out. And that's intimidating. It's a Miserable Life. The main character in that, I think it's Jack. I already forgot. The pressure of he wants to go to college and your parents have an expectation for you and you don't want to disappoint them, but you want to do your own thing and trying to break free.
Right.
Some of the episodes have themes that are relatable. The whole marriage thing, the B plot, I don't know what the fuck the theme of that B plot was. The theme was what? Don't cheat on your partner?
But she's got like almost like a zealous, she's out to defeat.
To like punish
right, yeah.
Men that that are unfaithful. It's like, don't be unfaithful. And then the first part is like, I mean, they kind of already touched on this theme in Love Stinks. They did the boyfriend with Lonnie and Laura, where it's like the commitment, the fear of commitment. Well, that's the same theme here. The commitment is just marriage, but it's the same basic idea of like the fear of committing to somebody, right? It's bad.
I watched it and I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
There's nothing horrifying about it.
There's no good, there's a good Freddy moment, but there's no good Freddy, there's no real good dream effects, and it's crap. Shit for the birds, folks. Shit for the birds. That's Mark's number 1 favorite episode right there. In case you're just tuning in.
No.